enjoy the content I make, but sometimes I feel like it's not as exciting to me when you've done it so many times. When you make the first passive income video and it's new, it's exciting. But when you made that video 6 times, it becomes just boring for me. Like I don't feel like I'm progressing as much as I should be.
He is not only a multimillionaire, he is the biggest finance creator on YouTube, podcaster and business expert. In this conversation, he shares for the first time the full story of his life and how his tough childhood shaped him to be the man he is now.
First question, what is your net worth?
16 something. It fluctuates every day if the market's up or down, but it's
16 million.
16 million. So the highest it's ever been was, I don't know, 16.5, something like that. So it's
a lot of money. How you
up
did
and down.
How you did that?
How I did that. How I did that. Do you want the long story, the full story, or I'll give you the few
tell
minute.
me, how do you make money? How did you make money in your life?
I'll give you the 5-minute version. But that's a good
I will interrupt you a lot of times.
You interrupt me. Okay. I got to go all the way back to middle school, unfortunately. But I just love working. I was obsessed at the time with
from 15.
What?
From 15, you liked
middle school.
Working?
Middle school.
Middle school.
Well, actually, it goes even further back than that. When I was in, I think it was kindergarten, I was obsessed with helping out the lunch lady, and I got to miss, there was like one class or something like that, but I got to have an extra 30 minutes for lunch because I would leave the class to go help out the lunch lady. So I would be the kid behind like the thing, like serving people, and I wore the gloves and the head thing, and I don't know how old I was, like 6 or 7, but they had this program where kids could go and like help out the lunch lady, and I was the one who like got all those shifts. I loved it because I got an extra 30 minutes and I'd get just food. And so I thought that was the coolest thing ever, to be like, all right, guys, I got to go because I got work to do. I just thought it was so neat. So it was ingrained in me to always work. And then I found this weird obsession with saltwater aquariums. And
in what age?
What age was I? 11, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. I think my dad and grandma both like teamed up to get me a saltwater aquarium.
And you still have that aquarium obsession, right?
Yeah, I still have it. Never went away. But yeah, my dad and grandma, I think, teamed up to get this aquarium for me. It was a saltwater aquarium, and I wanted one for years. And I was just obsessed with it. It's all I wanted to do. And so I'd spend my time online going on reef aquarium websites, reefcentral.com and saltwaterfish.com. There's reeflounge.com. There's a whole bunch of all the .coms for reef aquariums. I was on there, and I would just talk to other people about like reef aquariums. And there was this, it's called a frag swap. And basically what it is when people grow out coral, you could like chip off a piece of the coral or just cut it, and then you could sell or trade it with other hobbyists. And so these frag swaps would usually be at someone's house, and you would just trade coral between each other that you grow in your tanks. And I went to one of these frag swaps and was just like, loved it. And through those frag swaps, I met the owner of a company.
You are saying that those experiences at kindergarten and this is all this stuff that made you
correct, because it was from those that I ended up getting my first part-time job, and that was taking pictures of fish and coral, helping out at the aquarium place. Like I did anything I could. I loved it.
When people see like 16 million net worth, it's like, they don't think that is when you go by. It's like it starts from young.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah.
It's not like something that came up to them when they are 20 and then they became. It starts all their experiences that they had in life.
Yeah, some people are probably different. For me, it was definitely an accumulation of just experiences, and they've all been positive. Like all of my work experiences have been positive. Like I've always just
maybe they were not positive, but
Yeah.
I think you are positive and you interpret their.
Could be
positively. So then, like,
so anyway,
16 million is a big number to do with aquarium.
But that leads up to it because I loved working so much, I hated school. So like there was a direct correlation between my enjoyment for work and how I hated school. Because the more I worked, the more I was like, well, why do I gotta go to school? So I would just not care about school. I would ditch school if I could. As soon as I got my driver's license, I just would leave to go to work.
So you didn't thought at school that it's something wrong with you, that you don't like school?
I hated it. I thought it was so
You thought that
pointless.
it's something wrong with you?
No, I just
so
looked at it. I looked at it like they were crazy. Like, why would I need to learn this? I looked at every subject and I thought to myself, objectively, I will never use this in my life. This is pointless.
Okay.
Why am I going to spend my time on this when instead I could be working and making money? I know I could do something with money. I can't do something with geometry. And I know there's skills out there that I don't have that someone else is going to have. You need doctors, and there's a lot of professions out there that need and require school, and there's a lot of benefit to that. But for me, I didn't see the benefit in it for what I wanted to do. So
you understood from that age that something is wrong with me. I have so much passion. Not something is wrong with me. I have this passion so much for money and like for work. You understood that from early age.
It's
About the
practical,
money,
yeah.
but you were so passionate about money from younger age.
I don't know. It wasn't necessarily. I mean, money was like kind of like a tool or like a means of having something for your work and working efficiently and working smart. But I just thought practically, it's just like, why am I going to spend my time doing something where I'm not going to use it? So if I could use my time elsewhere, I may as well. Like even before the part-time job, it's like I'd rather spend time learning about reef aquariums because at the time back then I wanted to be a marine biologist. Marine biologist, can't say that. But so I thought, I'd learn about reef aquariums, not school. But anyway, it was because I didn't do well in school. I didn't get into college. And it was from that it was like...
You didn't because you tried and you didn't? Or you didn't try at all?
I tried. I didn't approach it the way I should. I mean, I had terrible grades in high school, but for some reason I thought I was going to get into Pepperdine. And I wanted to go to Pepperdine because it just looked like a really nice campus. It was in Malibu. I had no idea like how I would ever pay for that. It's a really expensive school. I just thought, hey, it's in Malibu. Like if I'm going to go to college, I'm like, I want to go there. I had no idea what I was doing. So I applied and I thought I gave, my best, but but even if I did get in, honestly, it would have been a curse. I would have had no way to have paid for it. I would have probably had the same experience as high school. But yeah, because I didn't get into that, I just figured I'm going to get my real estate license. I just need a college diploma and I don't need any experience. So I'm going to get my real estate license. Ended up getting my real estate license just by chance. Met another agent who allowed me to work underneath him after I went to open houses, just talking to other people and just asking their experiences. I loved it. And so it was working as a real estate agent that I just fell in love with real estate and just doing that. I loved it.
What is why real estate is interesting?
I thought it was a challenge. It was exciting. I was around this new environment that I had never experienced before. And this was like, I would commute an hour to drive to Beverly Hills. Like I think this is right as I was graduating high school. I was living with my dad in Glendale, and I would drive an hour with traffic to get to Beverly Hills because I wanted to sell real estate in Beverly Hills. And that was, I thought, to be like this really expensive, like rich people area. And I was so curious by it. And just being around that environment was so unusual to me because I would meet with clients that I would never ordinarily get to be around. It's like this whole new world. And I remember I had to run an errand and like get a form signed or something by this guy who was working with the agent that I was working underneath. Had me meet him at like Neiman Marcus, and he was buying $50,000 worth of clothing, just on a whim. It's like he was from Indonesia, and just like didn't even blink. Like this is just his afternoon shopping trip of $50,000, and I was looking at like this is crazy, and just having him sign this offer is something he needs to sign, but it's just crazy. But I wanted to work in Beverly Hills. I figured if I'm just being practical, if I'm going to put my time into learning something, I want to sell the most expensive real estate I can.
What age you were?
18.
18.
I was 18.
Started.
Yeah.
And that took you it was a 7-year journey, as I remember, right?
Yeah.
With real estate.
Longer than that. I mean, it was probably 18 to 20. Well, no, to 10 years. 2018. Yeah, it was really a solid 10 years that I was doing 100% full time. It wasn't until YouTube started really taking off that I started thinking.
So you were a millionaire before?
Yes.
You started YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah, so
Okay,
that was
that's interesting.
yeah. Well,
That's interesting.
it was a combination of I lived really frugally. I saved all of my money because I didn't know where my commissions were coming from. So I would think if I
By
make
the way, later
Yeah.
I have so many questions about personal stuff because I'm the worst person with money, and I
Yeah.
understood now after so many mistakes that it's important and you need to pay attention.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's for later. But
sure, yeah, that's fair. I'll do whatever I can, man. But yeah, I saved all my money and my commissions. Sometimes I'd make like 15 grand in one sale, let's just say, but that might have to last me a year. Like I don't know when I'm going to make my next sale, so I just
Okay.
save. Then 2011, I had all this money saved up. It was from 3.5 years of working.
how much money you
That was
saved up?
almost 200 grand.
200.
It was like 3.5, 4 years of working because it kind of built up over time.
You
so
were
like,
always a person like saving every
everything.
single
Oh yeah, it was
penny,
I was
cutting costs.
everything. Yeah.
When you-
Like
when
me
he says
splurging. Me splurging at the time was going to McDonald's and getting the $1.39 iced coffee. It was cheaper back then. I think it was like $1.29. It was $1 like 59 or 69. If you got the large, and that would last me the entire
Did your
day if I treat
parents
myself.
teach you like this saving thing? and
No,
this
I loved saving money.
by yourself. Like
Yeah.
it's a natural thing that you were driven to.
Yeah.
Your parents were like financially driven. They were like under.
I think it was like a not feast and famine, but it was something where money was definitely tight. And there were times, I mean, I've never been in a situation where it's like I didn't have food on the table. So I would never say that I was at that position because I'm sure people have had it way worse. But I do remember definitely where it's like, hey, we have $20, we got to make it last. And after rent is paid and everything like that, it's I don't want to go into too many details, but it does, or at least at the time too, it made me appreciate like, hey, here's $20. Here's the value of $20 and what you could get from that. And I remember just thinking, $20, divvy it up with gas, $5 footlong sandwiches because you split that in half and you could make it last 2 meals, and then $5 to save in case something comes up.
Because you saw
Yeah.
how much the $20 can
Yeah.
take. You were like really pay attention and like appreciating $20 and
Mhm.
pay. So okay, next with the real estate, how this? So you were how millionaire before real estate? At what age you made your first million?
26.
26.
Yeah, and that was because I was investing in real estate. So I started buying real estate. I started making offers in 2011, and those are the prices I locked in because sometimes these offers, they were short sales and they would have to go through a foreclosure basically. And so some of these offers make them 2011, close early 2012, but I ended up purchasing 3 rental properties between that time, and I just kept saving and saving and saving. Those rental properties ended up going up in value a significant amount. Then I bought another.
So you were lucky, or it was strategic thing?
I would definitely say slightly both. I didn't think the real estate market, like I had projections where it's like, okay, if I buy one rental property every year and it goes up in value, like on average of 6%, and I reinvest like I made these calculations of like where it would lead. And I knew it was going in that direction. I never expected real estate to go up that much, that fast. But it was also something where I saw this and I'm like, it doesn't make sense for these properties to be trading and selling for this price. Like it doesn't make sense. You're taking a property that would cost $300,000 to build that's selling for 60. That can't exist in a market where you have a house that is selling less than it would cost to build, like below replacement cost.
And
That shouldn't be
because
happening.
You were in the market and you
Yeah.
understood the numbers and all this stuff. That was what made you to understand that this is a good deal. You had a great understanding of the market. Also, that played a role of you understanding.
I felt super comfortable. And I did. There was a few weeks there where I had nothing, so I invested everything I had into these properties, and I was at the point basically for those properties where it's like if I didn't get rent on those soon, it's like I was running out of money, and I had a contractor bill come up. I think it was like $2,000 or like $2,200, something like that. And I was waiting on one of those properties to get rented, and when that property gets rented, then I could use that rent money to go and pay the contractor. And I had also another deal that was closing, so it was like this deal is closing. I'm gonna get paid, but it takes like a few weeks to process through the brokerage. And I got to rent out this house, $2,200 short, and my grandma lent me $2,200. Now, she's not like rich by any means, but, she's retired, and was able to lend me that money with the understanding that I'd pay her back within 3 weeks, and I did.
So you built it all this work ethic through real estate.
Yeah. I just invested in real estate. 26, I hit $1 million net worth, and I celebrated
But
with happy hour
I'm
sushi.
asking-
Yeah.
Wait, that's fine.
Yeah.
About the work ethic,
Yeah.
you built it through your first the 10 years through.
I think so.
And
yeah.
you were working the same hard as you work now, like 24/7.
I work harder now than I did back then. I look back at those days. I'm like, oh man, I had it so easy. I'm sure you could ask me back then. I'd be like, oh man, this is a crazy schedule. I had it so easy. I didn't realize until what I'm doing now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, and when you made the shift, like from what happened? You got bored in real estate. You're like,
Yeah. So two things happened. 2014 or 15, I felt burnt out in real estate, and I felt like I had plateaued and couldn't break past that. Like, I felt like there's this invisible barrier that, like, no matter what I did, I wasn't getting through that. I felt frustrated. I couldn't figure out where I was going wrong. I'd see other agents that started at the same time as me now doing better than me. And I'm like, why are they doing better? And I felt so stuck, and I felt like I wasn't learning anymore. And I felt like I had gotten what I had done, like on autopilot, where I could do it and it was comfortable. And I think at the time I was making anywhere between 120 and 150 grand a year, which I think I was 24-ish, which was really good on a job that you would consider to be easy, on autopilot, where I had a consistent amount of clients coming in from repeat and referrals, where I didn't have to do much other than just service those people, drop everything as soon as they need help. But I just didn't feel fulfilled. And at the same time, just by pure coincidence, ended up doing a deal with Jason Oppenheim. And he was opening up the Oppenheim group. And he made me an offer to come join at the Oppenheim group. And I was at this weird crossroads where I thought, like, I'm happy with what I'm doing, but I'm not 100% just fulfilled. Like, I don't love it. And I could make a switch to the Oppenheim group, but I risk giving up this dream of, 150 grand a year doing something that I'm comfortable with. But am I going to grow? And I went Oppenheim group, and I'm so glad, because that reinvigorated everything. And to learn from his experiences and to see how he works, just to get a different perspective, my income doubled. I think the next year, just because I was around Jason, and he is just so good, well-spoken, articulate, very driven. And so being around a new environment helped me. And then it was 2018 or 19, I think 2019. YouTube really started to, I think 2019 was the first year I made $1 million.
On the real estate?
No, that was YouTube.
Okay.
I think so. I'm pretty sure. I have so many income breakdowns. I'm sure if you go back on YouTube, you'd be able to find Graham Stephan income 2019. Like,
Yeah,
I've made videos about it. I've lost track. It's probably $1 million, give or take. But anyway, that was the point where I started to realize, like, wait a second, I'm spending 7 hours a day doing real estate.
What year you started YouTube?
2000. Technically, I started the channel December 26, 2016.
Okay.
That's when I started the channel. And I posted my first video, I think, that day. It's now private. But my first video was posted December 26,
and you
2016.
are doing two things parallel. The real estate and also YouTube.
Yeah, real estate was always the priority. And I always made sure not to lose my focus. As excited as I was about YouTube, I'm like...
And you were excited.
I loved YouTube. And it was bad, and I knew it was going to be a problem where I would spend 8 hours doing real estate, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I just want to make YouTube videos. So I just thought to myself, I'm going to put in my time in real estate, and then I'm going to do YouTube at night. And so my schedule was get in the office, finish up around 7, 8 p.m. From 8 p.m. to like 3 o'clock in the morning, I just do YouTube videos.
How many years it took you to make like relatively okay YouTube videos, because it's a learning curve?
Back then, finance videos, the barrier was nothing. So I could post whatever, and there was no content out there. I mean, very few people were making videos in personal. The market didn't exist for it like it does now. Like, imagine going in and talking about, I was about to say worms, but I've seen like worm channels. There was no market for finance. So when I was making videos, there was nothing to compare me to. It was really Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, somewhat Dave Ramsey, Minority Mindset, Jeremy Financial Education, but no one was big. It was Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone. Those are the big guys. But they had something to sell you. And here I was, as just, I wanted to share my experience. I had no intention of making any money. I just wanted to make videos.
You thought that will help you with the real estate?
No. No, it hurt the real estate. Like that did not help at all. I've got no clients from YouTube. I thought I would.
You didn't had like a brand again, like
No.
it's going to help the other one.
No, the clients that I got from YouTube, a nightmare. I've never closed a deal. A nightmare. And if I could go, I don't want to say if I could go back and I would just not take any listings, but I've not made $1 from anyone from YouTube. It's just, but I never started it to get business. I started it just because I really enjoyed making YouTube videos, and I'd sit there and look at the analytics. I'd think of the best titles and thumbnails. I got really into SEO. And so this was back in the beginning. I wanted to just rank on the first page for different search terms. So it was like real estate investing. And I think Ty Lopez had made a video about real estate investing. And I spent like all night one night reading, I think it was Daryl Eves, just reading about how to get your videos recommended on YouTube. And so I experimented with like, you title the video similar, and then you put in the tags, like put the other name you want to rank against and put their name in the description, and hopefully the algorithm would promote the two. And I just learned everything as I went along. It's I edited
from
on
YouTube videos.
Yeah,
you were learning about
yeah.
YouTube.
So I'd watch YouTube videos on how to grow on YouTube and just apply that. If any time I'd get to a snag and just figure out like I don't know how to do this, just Google it. And it was so simple.
Through all the evolution of YouTube with Logan Paul, Rise, and like
no,
Mr.
earlier
Beast.
than that. I started watching YouTube full time since like 2009.
to be in
To be in YouTube, but I watched as a viewer.
Okay.
2009, 2008, Smosh. I watched a lot of the like for me. YouTube was my version of TV, and I would
Okay.
just watch YouTube. So I came at it from this perspective, like I know what I would want to watch, so I'm going to give myself those videos. I'm just going to make that. So I approached it, but I also approached it very strategically because I didn't want to post a video and not have it do well. And I had an interest in like, it was like playing a game of chess. It's like, okay, let's figure out how the algorithm works, why people watch certain videos, what they want to see, how we could boost up that engagement. If I ask people to subscribe, is that going to help? What if I ask them to hit the like button? Oh, wow, that's making a difference. Okay, what tags, description? I did everything. And my first big break was I had a video on real estate investing, or it was a video on passive income. Pretty sure it was real estate investing that got, all of a sudden, my channel was maybe getting like 50 views a day, something like that. All of a sudden, it went to like 400 views a day. I was like, wow, this is nuts. What happens? It was because my video was getting recommended as a next up to a Ty Lopez video. And that was one of the videos that I did for my SEO. I typed in Ty Lopez in the description and all that. But it was working. It was getting recommended. And I was like, wow, if this works
We
on this
don't
video.
recommend this advice now in 2022 about...
Yeah, I don't know if it still works. Now they say tags don't matter, and my experience is they probably don't matter. They don't really make much of a difference. But I'm at a different point now where I don't care about ranking.
Yeah.
But when I was small, all I wanted was want to rank on the first page for passive income, investing for beginners, real estate, how to sell real estate investing. I went through all of the how to be a millionaire, I wanted all of those finance topics to be me. And I remember there's one video that I was after. It was I think it's still up there. It's how to be a millionaire in 3 years. And that was the #1 video for how to be a millionaire. And I knew if I could get on that first page of how to be a millionaire, that would help bring more eyeballs and more attention to the channel. And again, I wasn't about making money. I had nothing to sell. I didn't even turn on ads in the beginning because I wanted to be like the anti-ad person. And yeah, times have changed. You live long enough to see yourself now be the ad person. But I went in with the intention, no ads. But I read somewhere that if you turn on ads, YouTube has an incentive to promote your video because now they have a financial incentive, So anyway, I turned on ads. Instantly, my views went up, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm turning on ads. It's going to help the video. So I did.
So let's say now you passed 3 million subscribers, you are growing, but you took us through the journey, and I think it's important. I heard some of your podcast recently that you feel kind of the same way that you felt while you were at the real estate and it was a ceiling.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, and also I'm a YouTuber. I'm just starting out. It's been only a year, and you do this like for the last 6 years. And like, I want to. I'm curious to see like how do you feel better now? Like, what is your next step? What you want to change in your life now?
Yeah. So I mean, some of it is that I feel like I've said so much already. How do I improve what I've already done? Where sometimes when I make a video, I'll put my heart and soul into that video, and I'll be like, "This is perfect." Post the video, and then new subscribers will never watch that video. Like it'll usually only get views for maybe 10 days, sometimes 30 max. If it's a really good long tail video, it'll long tail to a new audience. But now I got new subscribers, and that might be an important message that I think they should hear, or that might just need to be updated. All of a sudden now, all the new people look at a video a year ago. That's old. That doesn't apply to me. They want a new one. And then I think, how do I recreate this thing that I put so much time into and make it new and better than I made in the past, where I was like so invested in it? So I think it's part of it. I think part of it is too that you get accustomed to it, and you want to constantly be pushing your limits and growing as a person. And that's something I'm trying to find where that balance is. I think it'll happen naturally. Where I've started to shift, and I've really enjoyed this, is more the interview style. I'm still trying out different things, but so far that's been going well, where I've been traveling to different creators or different people.
Yeah, I saw
and hearing this story. Dave Ramsey, it was meeting Mr. Beast and Dave Ramsey, and I did both of those like a week apart. When I did the Mr. Beast video, he gave me the opportunity to go and sit down with him for an hour. We had a good chat, and then follow him around, and I got to film everything. And having that content for me and editing it together, it like reinvigorated my excitement for YouTube videos. I was like, I want to do this. This was so cool. So I've yet to post that video. Probably going to post it soon. But then I've done from that. I did that with Dave Ramsey, and I loved it. I thought that was so much fun. And then I did that with Ludwig. I really enjoyed that. I did that with Darman. And I'm just curious to see how those are going to do and how the reaction's going to be. I love those videos. But I think it's just, it's a fine balance between like...
So you don't think it's the ceiling here? You think it's like you try to recreate yourself now and like try to find stuff that you are passionate, and it's not like I want to pivot to something different.
No, I wouldn't pivot. No, because I enjoy the content I make, but sometimes I feel like it's not as exciting to me when you've done it so many times. When you make the first passive income video and it's new, it's exciting. But when you made that video 6 times, and each one with a different update because people won't watch the one from 2019, it becomes just boring for me. Like, I don't feel like I'm progressing as much as I should be. And so it's about taking that and still doing it. Like, I wouldn't abandon what has helped get me to where I am today, because people love that content, and I think there's a place for it. But I would love to add to that a different side of things that I think, I've definitely not done as much as I should. Like, Meet the $250 Million Man was one of those videos that I did back 2019. I loved that video. Ben Mello was
and this
so
is
cool.
what you are trying to do as well. Now,
Yeah.
Similar things.
Yeah.
And Kevin O'Leary video as well.
Yeah, the Kevin O'Leary one is fantastic. But, so far when I've done those videos, like Stradman was another one. Did phenomenally well. I loved that video, and I get to learn so much from somebody else. So, chances are I want to supplement my videos with those. So maybe once or twice a month I'll post one of those in addition to everything else.
In addition to everything. So you're not going to stop doing all these things.
No.
So that's interesting, because I know sometimes that something will get views and something will do this, but I'm like at the point, like, if I'm not going to enjoy doing that, I'm not going to do it, because I will lose the excitement and the fun about it. So, but because this is a huge company that you said, is like you have financial goals, you have all this stuff. It's like there is a cash cow machine that is coming with all this uploading these types of videos and all this stuff. So that's why you don't want to stop doing that, and you want to do
because I know myself. I think discipline is really important to keep a consistent schedule no matter what. And I know myself, if I stop, it's so much harder to get back on. I've been doing this now 6 years almost, where I could get out the 3 videos a week and make it happen and do it. And, I think if I go down to 2, I'm not going to be able to go back to 3. I've got that momentum going right now where I'm planning to keep that going. And I enjoy it. 95% of the time, I love it. I wake up, it's all I want to do. And as with anything, there's a 5, maybe 10% of the time when you wake up, just don't feel like it. can't find a topic I want to talk about, but you make it happen.
Isn't that put a lot of stress in your life too? Like, oh my god, new week, I have 3 videos. It's like 3 videos is not a joke at a level that we are on YouTube. Like,
I'm used to
you
it.
have to.
Yeah, no, I'm used to it.
Isn't that putting a lot of stress in your life?
No, I think it's all relative, and I built that up over time. So it was never like I went from 0 to like 3 videos a week. I went from 0 to like doing 1 a week, and there were crappy videos, to maybe like 2 a week, and then I started doing 3 a week, but they weren't that good quality, and then I improved, and it was just built up over time. So like it didn't even feel like anything. Like to me right now, it feels normal. It would be like, let's say I tell you right now, Fidias, go and run 5 miles on the treadmill. You're like, what? I can't run. Like, you have to go and do that. But imagine it's like, hey, Fidias, just run a minute, run 30 seconds. Okay. And it's like, no, today you're going to do 31 seconds. Today's 32. That's the way it's like for me. And so then imagine take a year off and then try to like go back on that treadmill.
What is the future of Gram, Stephan?
I definitely think this podcast, the Iced Coffee Hour, has a lot of potential, and I want to continue that. I think there's a lot. That's really what I'm very excited about, seeing like what's going to happen with the podcast. And I want to take the main channel. I love the interviews. Like I've dream guests that I'd love to have on. Like Mark Cuban would be one of them. Keenan Thompson of all people. Like I loved watching Keenan and Kel. He would be one. Steve-O. There's so many. Shaq would be fantastic. Floyd Mayweather. So people like this, I feel like they're maybe known for their craft, but behind the scenes, like they're savvy business people. Like Shaq is one of those people where it's like, yeah, you might know him for basketball, but guy's like really talented as an investor. Same with Kobe Bryant. I think a lot of people don't realize he made most of his money with his investments, and he even said that he wanted to be known at the end of as an investor. And so people forget that they're very smart business people, and I think that's a story and a side of them that isn't shown as often as it should be. And I'd like to be that person who has the audience to share that. Because I think, if they go on Jimmy Fallon's like, hey, yeah, I own all these restaurants and these franchises making $30 million a year. Like, that's not the audience. You're going to get people like, oh, what do you do, greedy? But you get someone like, who watches my channel, who's like into personal finance, into self-help, into building wealth and bettering themselves and getting ahead financially. It's so well received. And like when Pokimane came on and was starting to talk about like her income, her business, if she did that on her own stream, it might be taken the wrong way. But through my audience and people who like mine, it's like they come to expect it.
Talks about I'm making so much money, this and this. Like when he does it in his channel, it's like it looks bad. But when it comes, you are all about finance,
and that's the audience. So that's it. Like immediately goes to that demographic who's into that, and it's not for everybody. But
you are in the unique position to do it. That you already built you have a huge brand. People know you, and like you can unite this.
Yeah, and so that's why I feel like it makes sense as like in terms of where I could continue growing is through that, because I wouldn't have had ever those connections if I didn't build an audience around personal finance and my own excitement for investing. And I think because it's genuinely like I love investing, I love saving money, I love personal finance, I love talking about money, and if that has led me to that direction, I'm all for it. And so far, all of my experiences so far have been amazing, and it's what gets me so excited. Like as soon as I film one of those videos, I edit the whole thing right afterwards. I don't sleep, I just edit. I get it done right afterwards. So the Mr. Beast video, I finished it by the time I got back to Las Vegas. The video was done, the whole thing. And same with Ludwig. We filmed it yesterday, got home, had dinner. The video was 90% done. I woke up this morning, finished the video by like 10 a.m.
Okay.
I just bang it out.
Yeah. So as I understood, as I was telling you before, that money is very, very important in life, because I made so many mistakes. Like the past 8 months was the most stressful months of my life, because I made some big financial mistakes, and I owed some money to people and all this stuff. And I got to understand always in my life, I was like, oh yeah, you just make more the next month and everything will take care of. And like, also my parents, they're not the best people with money as well. So I don't have good habits and stuff. So I had to make my own big mistakes. And I got to understand that it's not worth it. You have to figure out this thing. You have to put money aside. It's clever for the business. So I'm here as a student and also for the people there that they are similar like me, that they don't have good financial education, for me to learn what's the small right steps that I should take to be a lot more financially well.
Yeah, well, it's different for you because you're reinvesting a lot back into your channel to grow it, and it seems like that's your priority. But I just think you do things that, you look at the ROI and you think, okay, if I invest $10,000, I'll make $20,000 back. Or I can invest $1,000 and make $5,000 back. All of a sudden, it's like the 1,000 to 5,000 makes a higher percentage return. And if you could find a way to do more of those, it's going to make you more money that you could reinvest elsewhere. So I think you gotta find the middle ground. Like you said something to me about being in VR, like you want to do something for 10 days. And I'm telling you, like, if you do it for 7, it's going to be the exact same outcome. It's like the same thing. And you save 3 days of your time.
One thing that you said also that day that we met, you said, do that. And also you said, you won the Lamborghini from Mr. Beast. Go and do a video.
I saw you got a few million views.
After that, I called Jamie and I told him, can you send me the footage, please? I want to make a video. And that video have like 3.5 million views.
I know.
So it's because of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. But keep doing that. But you have to look at yourself that not only like financially, but your time. Think of every day. Just imagine every day that you spend is worth $1,000. You spend a day doing something, you just spend $1,000. So if you're in an extra day of a challenge, minus $1,000. You take a day off, minus $1,000. So like you have to balance that. And so with your videos, you want to maximize how many people you're able to reach with the time that you spend on that video. So sometimes it's just like, why spend 10 days? Spend 7. It's the same thing. Giving people, let's just say $5,000, you accomplish the same thing with 1,000, but now you could do that 5 times instead of 1. So I think it's just about balancing how much you spend on a video and what the ROI is.
I think that will help as well, but also I think because you have habits, like for example, when you go out to a dinner with a person, you split the thing. I'm like, oh yeah, I will pay whatever the thing is. I don't have money in the thing, and I have like some habits that is bad. And like, for example, someone owes me money, I will never ask him for the money back. And it's like, just there is some line which is a lot of times not clever, because I'm missing out. Sometimes I owe to other people money, and it's not responsible for me to do that to them. So it's how do you build those small financially?
You just gotta start. You gotta start. Ideally, what's best is go to mint.com and just log in your finances, track it every day, and figure out where your money is going. How much do you make? How much goes? It's so simple. Just how much money goes in, how much money goes out. If you're in the red at all any day, stop it. Bad.
In the red, you mean if you spend?
Yes. If you get $100 in, you spend 101, unsustainable. Stop it immediately. So, and I operate everything like that. Like, especially on YouTube, there should be no reason you spend money. Like, look at Ryan Trahan's an excellent example. I'll talk about him all day, but his penny challenge was so successful on a penny. Like, you could make videos in that direction without spending any money. Now, obviously, he's got to pay editors, and he's got to put them up in a hotel. There's expenses, but the concept of the video, if Ryan wanted to for 30 days and he didn't mind a lack of sleep, he could be filming himself, editing himself, and just bare bonesing it. Like, he would find a way. So I think the similar approaches. Things don't have to take. Look at Jimmy's video. I didn't eat for 30 days. I mean, that doesn't cost money. It's just personal challenges like that are very interesting. Same with who's the other guy? The Scottish guy learns a new skill.
Yeah,
like
Mike Shake.
Yep, love those videos. Learn to juggle.
Italian.
Oh, is he Italian? Are you sure? Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Wait, are you sure that's him? Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Or my Bogyak. There is another guy, but I think it's Mike.
Yeah.
Shake.
Okay, has a bit of a goatee, something like that. Anyway, there's so many video ideas that don't require money. This saying Logan Paul 100,000 times, counting to 1 million. I mean, just stupid stuff, but it's effective.
Yeah. The thing with this problem that I have is that I did these mistakes like 8-9 months ago, and I see the results now in the past months, and it's like it takes some time to get off. It's not like, oh yeah, I will become better at money. And it's like immediately you get out of debt. So it's like you have to work smarter, reverse engineer the situation. So, and it's kind of frustrating, honestly. But yeah, do you believe that everyone can become a millionaire?
Yeah. It's just a math problem. I mean, it's just, what is it? If you say $5 a day for like 30 years, invested at a 7.5% return on a Roth IRA, there you go. I mean, it's just time and consistency. Anybody could really do. If you can save $5 to $10 a day, and you could just do that consistent, it's not going to happen overnight, but yeah, it's possible.
Do you believe that we have free will as humans to have our power over our choices? To say, yes, I'm going to do this and do it, because there is people that have they don't have the right habits through their life, and they have the bad environment.
Well, you gotta want it. It's same with losing weight. I mean, it's just like you gotta want it. The alternative has to be more painful than saving the money. I mean, same with losing weight. There's so many different habits and things that people can get on if they place an importance on that. Some people just don't care, and that's fine. But if that is something they want, they gotta sacrifice it somehow. It doesn't have to be a huge sacrifice. I mean, $5 a day. I always make the comparison. It's like, that's a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So don't go to Starbucks. You want money? Don't go to Starbucks. Make it yourself. It's the same experience. So there are just little things like that you
So
could do.
This is how a person out there that wants to accumulate wealth starts. Like, go saving money to the small things, like making a bit more, doing some or is more about starting a business and becoming an entrepreneur. Is like,
it's so simple. Track your expenses. Find out how much money goes in, how much money goes out. The next thing you do, you optimize those expenses. You look through them. You look through a month's worth of expenses. Say, did I need that? No, don't buy it. Can I find that cheaper? Let's shop around the insurance. Let's see, maybe we're overpaying on this phone bill. Maybe we don't need this internet. Oh, look, we're going over our phone plan or some crap like that. Maybe I should get a different phone plan. Save all the money there. Now, all of a sudden, you might have a surplus. Now you could start saving the money. And then you could look through and think, how can I invest that money? Just broad index fund. Done. Next, how can I make more money? Can you learn a new skill? Is there another career that might pay you a little bit better? Are you underpaid? What if you go and solicit yourself somewhere else? What if you spend an hour a day just looking at other jobs after you finish your work? How far ahead will that get you? There's so many different things. But I feel like just people just don't do them, or they get lazy about it. I'll do that tomorrow. I guess I've just never been the person of just do it now. Just do it now. But then again, it's simple for me to say, just do it now, because I'm a very do it now person. I don't like ever thinking, do it tomorrow. No, just do it now.
What you said is very important. Like, I know that for YouTube, that you need to track what's the retention, what's the views, what is working and what is not working. But when it comes down to money, like, you have to do the same thing. Like, track down what is coming, what is working, what is bad. And now it clicked in my head that you were saying, yeah, obviously, track all my expenses, see where is the overspending, understand where I'm spending.
It's weird for me because I have an interest in this. Like, I find this stuff interesting. Most people don't. And most people look at that's a chore. I find it so fascinating. Like, I already know what I spend. I don't spend much, but it's something you have to do. Once you like, Mint makes it so easy because and there's others like Rocket Money is another one that I get their emails all the time. Like, anytime I've spent more than a certain amount, it sends me an email. Graham, you spent more than this amount. I'm like, yeah, I bought camera equipment. I know what it is. But there's so many services now that make it easy. Like, it's easier today than it has been at any other point in history. Like, there's so many services out there. You could even use something like Acorns, which rounds up your services. Now, better, Acorns isn't the top tier, but it's an improvement from probably what 95% of people are doing. There's so many ways that you could start saving and cutting back on your expenses.
Okay, now I have a question about, do you watch my YouTube videos? What is your opinion about my YouTube videos, and how can I improve as a YouTuber?
Yeah, most of them. I watch most of them. I saw you got a lot of heat on the visiting the poorest country.
Yes.
How much thought went into that video before you did it?
It went a lot of thought into it, but because we went to that country and it's it's a good time to address it. Like, I never talked about it. A lot of people made bad videos about it. And so I believe that inequality between the countries is the biggest problem that we have in our world, because the poorest person in United States, probably there is not the poorest person, is probably one of the good people in the world's poorest country, statistically. So I think we need to pay a lot more attention to this country. So as a young person, I want to do stuff that I believe in. I was like, okay, let's go. Let's understand what's the situation there, and let's bring attention there. And also let's make a fundraiser to go and help again with the money, with the purest intentions possible. Purest intention possible. And like, I went there. I was like, okay, we're not going to go with title and thumbnail in the thing. Let's go treat it like a documentary, whatever, and like, let's just film stuff of my experience, and then we edit it how we want it. And then that was a bad decision, because if you know about videos, you have to know the structure to continue the video. And so we wanted the fundraiser to do, and we ended up with the title and thumbnail. I spent 100 hours in the world's poorest country, which was a bad idea, because people there live for their whole life, and like, I spend 100 hours there is like disrespectful to them. And also, if I went there and I did this to a different country that it was white people, it was not going to be any problem, because people are very sensitive, especially to Africa, especially to black people and all this stuff. So I look through that, and I'm like, okay, we made some mistakes going there in the video, maybe the structure a bit and all this stuff, but the intentions were good. We learned from our mistakes. We're going to go and do that in the future again, and spend the money there with better from our mistake that we learned now from our mistakes, and we are going to improve in the future. And like, I don't feel bad, because I'm making mistakes, and I'm going to improve in the future.
I think it's different because I know you, and I know the intentions are good. So like, I didn't see anything, because I was like, I know you, and I'm like, I get it. So overall, let me see. This stood in the circle. I watched this video. Oh yeah, the stood. That looked so uncomfortable. Yeah, I mean, I think your thumbnails are fantastic. Who does your thumbnails?
A guy. It's amazing. This where I put a YouTube community post, and a 16-year-old guy from Israel won the competition. About 500 people. Like, a 16-year-old guy from Israel. He does my thumbnails because he won
What's his name?
Adir.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to someone else. I forget who it was, and I was asking like, who does these thumbnails? And it was the same thing. It was like a 16-year-old kid who's just like a genius at making thumbnails. I'm like, wow.
It's crazy. This world that you are living, that you can find so specialized, good person at that young age.
Good business. Yeah, and he was charging like $250 to $500 a thumbnail. I'm like, at 16 years old, and he's doing thumbnails for some of the top YouTubers out there, like people getting millions and millions, and it's a 16-year-old kid is getting probably billions of impressions on his picture that nobody knows. It's insane.
But how I can improve? What do you think about my videos, and how I can be better?
Your upload frequency sucks. You posted 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago, 1 month ago, 1 month ago, it's not enough. I think you need to be posting once a week on a predictable schedule, and that is something that I think Eric has done really well. Is that he posts so frequency. 2 days, 2 days ago, 9 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 1 month, 1 month. He's posting every week with a bonus short, sometimes thrown in the mix of it. And he's really reinvested a lot into his production. Do you try not to laugh in real life? I don't know how he's pulling this stuff off. I trapped 100 strangers in complete darkness. Never have I ever in real life. Really thoughtful ideas, but also done with a frequency that I'm like, how is he doing this? I think you need to be that type where it's like, how is he doing this? You want people, how do they post a video like this in a week and post another one a week? I think you need frequency, and you're not there. You need that consistent every Sunday at 12 p.m., I post a video no matter what.
Yes.
And you got to do that.
And I need to, in order for me to do that, I need to try different things, because for now in my channel, it works the videos that I spend so much time doing, because nobody else spends that effort. And this is kind of how I'm unique for now. But I need to test and find some videos that really work, which doesn't require 7 days for me to do.
I think you need a good brainstorming team to sit with you, because I know for me sometimes it's having that back and forth dialogue with somebody else. It's like you'll be more creative. Maybe you'll think of something you didn't. Like if I were you, I would spend an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day, thinking of just ideas, write everything down. So maybe an hour you alone, maybe 2 hours alone, an hour with someone else, bouncing ideas back and forth. What do you think of this? Is this a good? Is this bad? Where am I going? And then another hour maybe watching what other people are doing to get inspiration. I think your idea is like, even if you spend an entire day, 1 day a week, just dedicated to ideas, it's the best you'll spend. And then you could maybe do some of these videos concurrently.
So another thing that you were doing YouTube for a lot of years, like how many years? 7 now? 6, 5?
It'll be 6 in December.
6.
6 really in January.
So you're doing that for a lot of time, and like, what is some advice that you give me as a creator that I'm just doing it professionally for 1 year now, and I'm very new.
For me, it's a schedule. For me, my schedule is everything. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3:30 p.m. Sometimes I'll post early if it's like a Friday and I want to get the video out sooner because I feel like it's important. I'll post early. But every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll only skip a video if it's a holiday on that day, or if a previous video is doing really well and I don't want to throw off the algorithm. Because I've noticed the algorithm will promote the newest video the most. And when you have a really well-performing video, you don't want to throw it off with something that could mess that up. So it's strategic if I don't post. But otherwise, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, no matter what. Second channel, too, every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, no matter what. Every podcast. We've only ever missed one podcast. And that wasn't missed. It was posted 2 days late because we had to film it.
I saw that you put a community post. Guys were going to upload.
Yeah, that was the only one in 2 years. And so I've taken so much pride between those 3 channels. We've never missed an upload. It's never, ever, in 6, I'll call it 6, I'll round up. In 6 years, it's never been an issue where couldn't think of a video today, didn't post. Never. And I never want it to be that. So it's just, no matter what, you got to get a video out. And I think if you're happy with the current pace that you're doing them, keep doing it. But if you want to grow, there's an element that there is an algorithm. That algorithm dictates who gets views on the platform. If you want to get the views, you got to keep people coming back to you. And you can't do that if you're posting every few weeks. Very few people could do that. Michael Reeves is one where he's one of the few people where I've seen where he could go a year without post a video and everyone's there for him. It's rare. But if you want to be in that growth phase, like imagine what Michael Reeves would be today, and he doesn't care, so it doesn't matter. But if he posted once a month or once every other month, something like that, gosh, he could be one of the biggest creators on the platform if you want. But he doesn't care. He's Michael Reeves, and that's why people love him, because that's not his thing, and that's what makes him, I think, very unique.
So you spoke with a lot of passion about podcasting. You said you were really feeling it when you said, I love this. Like, why do you love this? Why is this interesting for you, and why?
I think every person represents someone who's different with a different perspective, and we could share something that might help other people. And because it's all entrepreneur, finance based, I feel like everyone has a really cool story to share. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. It's what I listen to when I'm at the gym. And so I'm guessing, people just throw on the podcast, they listen to it, and I get to meet so many amazing people from it.
So what is like the best thing? The networking is like the you get to make another business that is really fun. It's like the people that you reach.
I would say networking and longevity, because I could see myself just doing podcasting and being 100% happy doing that. And it's like when you meet someone, I don't like to be like, hey man, let's go and grab lunch. I like to say, hey, let's come on the podcast. And you just get right into it and you open it up. And I just see that as like, everyone says yes. Not everyone says yes to the podcast, but like more people would say yes to podcasting than yes to lunch, because lunch takes time. You got to drive there. It's out of your way.
And
but
you feel that was not the most productive
right.
thing after.
It's like, why do I want to grab lunch? Well, I'm not going to grab lunch. Come on the podcast. Yeah, I'll do that. And so it was very eye-opening for me when I started the podcast with 0 subscribers. Just telling people, hey, we started a podcast. You want to come on? Just brand new meeting people. And that became the way that we would hang out, is come on the podcast. I don't know your backstory. Let's talk about it. Loved it. It was great.
So you see these going through the future a lot.
Yeah, like I know I cannot keep up 3 videos a week on the main channel forever. I can't do it. I could 100% do 1 to 2 videos a week on the podcast for as long as I could think. So
I'm this is my new podcast.
Yeah.
I started. I'm very passionate about it for a lot of reasons. The major reason is the learning. But what advice do you have for me? Like, you're doing this for 2 years.
Consistency. You got to make a schedule and stick with it no matter what. If we were to do anything differently, I'd say we should have been posting shorts. I think we could be better at posting a video on Sunday and then posting 3 shorts from that episode, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It doesn't matter. But should be episode shorts. And I think that you have to have that consistency. So everyone knows when to tune in. So for Iced Coffee Hour, it's 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Sunday. We'll have the episode ready. Every now and then we'll experience a technical it'll be 10, but it'll be Sunday morning. Mostly 9. But just, you got to be consistent.
It's crazy that both of your advices about the channels that I ask about my main channel, about the podcast, consistency.
That's because that's the only thing that I know that's helped, that so many people don't do. And I think, there's other things. I mean, obviously it's going to be title, thumbnail, retention, the video itself, the idea, how good you are on camera, are you entertaining? But like the thing that people have a lot of control over immediately is just your consistency. So I feel like, you need that you need that discipline and that strategy to.
You got some really big guests on the podcast. How you approach them is like because they see the views and they say it's because they see your big brand that you are Stephan, that they accept is because the relationship that you already built. How do you bring big guests on the podcast?
It's definitely the main channel has been the driver of that, because in the beginning, when you're just starting a podcast, they'll look at the main channel. Well, it's got a few million subscribers in this niche. It's got to be good. So that was in the beginning how we really got started. Plus, it was just my personal connections. Just being in YouTube and doing that, it's very easy to reach out to people who I've already met and say, hey, just started this. Do you want to come by? And we just did them from the dining room in the house. And it was a very test of concept. Like, we didn't jump into anything with fancy stuff. Just like, hey, we got 2 cameras. I used the Blue Yeti mic that I already had. Like, we used all of our existing equipment, just tested it. And we started small. Our buddies, hey, you want to come on the podcast? Come by. Andrew Hales was a cool one because he was in town. And just, hey, Andrew, I was on your podcast. You want to come on mine? Easy. And then over time, I started making more of an effort and realizing, like, wow, this is really going somewhere. I could see the benefit here, and I'm learning a lot. Viewers are learning a lot, so I'm going to be more vocal about reaching out to people I think would be a good fit. And sometimes we go in and we have no idea what to expect. So you just go in with an open mind, and everyone has been great so far.
So we left a bit to the one question. I wanted to kind of break down how the income now that you are. So now how much money you make on all the stuff?
Everything
month?
Probably per month, $500,000 a month, give or take.
Okay, and how much money you spend?
I want to say I don't know. A lot of it's discretionary. A lot of it is simply, do we need something, and will this help the business, and will it make our lives easier? The whole podcast room, I mean, definitely having something where you just press a button and record has saved so much time. Now at this point, I'm really just about saving time so I could just be more focused with the work. So I've hired on definitely a team that I didn't have exist before. I mean, like Alex has been such a huge help for me. Obviously Jack has been indispensable in setting up the podcast and making sure everything runs for like the second channel. So there have been things like that definitely help.
So I have, you didn't say exactly how much you spent, but I wanted to ask you about Jack, because Jack, you brought him on when he was 19, 18.
I think he's 20. He's 20 years old.
Something like this.
He's 20. Yeah.
And it's like, because he got to help you and add a lot of value to your life. Now he's like, has a personal brand. He's hanging out with the biggest YouTubers in the world. He has how do you feel that you took a kid from...
I did it. He did it for himself. I mean, I think, yeah, he would have been good at whatever he decided to do. And I think he's earned it because he's really put in the work. And he was doing stuff like this, like before he was even making money. Like for the first few months he was working with me, like didn't make anything. He was doing emails for me. He was setting up people to call in for the Graham Stephan show, and we'd go out for lunch, and I'd treat him for lunch. I mean, I had no idea it would ever evolve into anything. I just saw like how dedicated he was and how motivated he was, and what I really liked is he was a self-starter. Like, he wouldn't be someone who I'd be like, hey, Jack, we got to do this. He'd be someone who's like, Graham, we got to do this. And I'm going to do it. And I think it's going to help. And so every one of his ideas, he came up with a podcast. He said, Graham, we got to do a podcast. This is what it's going to be. I'll do, I'll take care of the editing. I'll do this. Let's figure out a split. Fine. And we did. And that was really good. So, but he's been the type where he's always been pushing and pushing and pushing and coming up with ideas and complementing the business in ways that I have not been able to bring.
Interesting. And so one thing to close this podcast, I wanted to say that it's difficult when there is, in this YouTube thing, there is a lot of transactional thing. Just I will help you, you help me. And like when I met you, and like a couple of times you've been super nice to me without asking for anything, and everything that you did for me, I want to say thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you for coming to the podcast, and I love you, and you are very real, and you are the same like you see me in the camera in real life. And I love hanging out with you.
Oh, of course.
And thank you for doing this.
You're welcome. I've just been blown away how generous other people have been with their time with me. And so I'm like, if I could do that and pass it along, like, I'm more than happy to do that. Jimmy, Mr. Beast, was one of those examples. Like, he didn't have to come on my channel. Ludwig was like so generous with his time. Like, he would have gone the entire afternoon and I was like worried, like, yo, man, are you sure you need to stream? It was so nice. So when I see that, it's like, it really reinforces that, like, I'm happy to do that as well and like lead by that example.
I love you. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome. Was this okay? I hope you got to tell everybody to subscribe and hit the like button.
Yes. Yeah. No, don't hit the like button, guys. Only subscribe.
Thanks, Fidias.